What's up, guys? Adventure Ryan here. Just wanted to drop my 1,500 mile review of the Aprilia Tuareg 660, the 2022 model. I also wanted to say thank you for, I just hit the 300 subscriber mark, I believe maybe just a little over. And I wanted to say thank you to all 300 of you who spend, some part of their life or day watching me ramble on and scooter around on trails and stuff like that. I enjoy it myself, watching, sometimes on Saturday mornings for hours. So watching others ride around. So I'm glad to be a part of that community, and I really appreciate you guys. Anyway, I'll stop rambling and I'll get into some updates that I have done equipment wise, and also give you my 1,500 mile opinion on this bike. And I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'll turn around and show the bike. So this is the 2022 Aprilia Tuareg. As I had mentioned before, my last video was, kind of rough around the edges. I don't think you could hear me a whole lot. So I'm going to try to improve that here inside my garage, shooting on my cell phone. But anyway, so the gear I added, one of my first things was right here, Barkbusters. I got these from PacificPowersports.com. They're one of the only people that sell, that I've found, in stock availability on Barkbusters nearly at all times. So if you're having trouble finding them, PacificPowersports.com is a great source to go through. I believe they're located possibly in Oregon, I'm not sure. But anyway, they always usually typically have those. So anyway, added those, replaced the stock guards. The stock guards are just garbage. But yeah, so got those done. I did change out, or not change out, but I did put on one of these headlight guards. That is a very expensive headlight. I think they're around $700, $800 if you bust that thing out. And my brother is a rooster, so he likes to roost, and I typically ride behind him because he's lead, and I don't want to bust out my headlight. So I put one of those on. It was like 20 bucks, I think. Maybe like Aliexpress or something like that. You can buy one from Hepco and Becker, and it's going to cost you over 100 bucks. I paid like 20 for that, and it's the exact same thing. It's just like a B cast. If you look really close, you could probably actually still see there's a little burrs and stuff like that in there on the edges. Otherwise it's fine. And I filed, I think, a few rough ones away. But yeah, it's there to get beat up anyway, so I don't really care. But anyway, so I put on the Hepco and Becker crash bars. Big source of interest for me was the connection point here and the connection point here. 2 bolts there connecting the two, and when you smack down on this, there's going to be equal distribution of shock load if there's 2 forms of support. I see some of these crash bars people have dropped that do not connect down here, and I steered away from that because I figured, all right, so you drop up here is connected, which is covered. Down here, not so much, and they bend in, and people were like, I'm gonna have to replace my crash bars. It's bent in, I can't get bent out. Stuff like that. That's what I thought was gonna happen. So I protected mine with 2 connecting points, at least in the front, right there. I haven't dropped them yet, so I can't give you a drop review. I'm sure when I ride the second half of the Continental Divide that I will drop it multiple times. But yeah, just wanted to give my reasoning on that. Now down here is probably one of my favorite additions. This is the Thor GP Mucci skid plate from Italy. GP Mucci makes these all in his shop with his 2 or 3 sons. He does all that work in his shop. Nothing is contracted out. He does all the welding himself. This thing is solid, and the mounting is actually very easy. So there's a piece on the other side that he actually hand makes. That little piece right there that hangs off to protect the back side of the exhaust. There's actually videos of him like hand grinding and making that little bracket, which I thought was cool. But yeah, so he also sells a piece, a little shark fin to protect your rear master cylinder there. And I wanted to say there was something else, but yeah, no, it was that piece right there. Yeah, the piece that he hand makes. But anyway, very quality skid plate, heavy duty, not super heavy. You know, comparing to other skid plates, this was the best value. It was not cheap, but again, you're protecting your way out of the woods. That's your engine. That's number one. And I did not want to skimp on that, so I went with the GP Mucci Thor skid plate. I think you can just type in Google GP Mucci skid plates and search. He has everything's in Italian unless you select the little option bar and change it over to US, and then it'll be in English. But yeah, highly recommend that. That thing is a freaking tank, and I have not personally tested it in the NAR yet, but I really plan on it. Because I know putting that thing on, it was solid. You can just tell the quality and everything, the way it's put together. It's like 3 different thicknesses, thicker, you know, right there in the front where the bash is, thinner up here, got air, you know, ventilation, things like that. All the things your bike needs to survive in the rugged wilderness. Anyway, so I still have the boring stock tires on there. I know, I need to switch those out. I do have a set of Motos Tractionator Rawls, or should I say Motos Tractionator Rawls for the front, tubeless, and I'm going to go with the Desert HT Motos in the rear. The same tires that my brother has on his. And honestly, after looking at my options, it looks like that might be the most aggressive setup I can get, you know, other than just a straight dirt tire. Which I may put on eventually, but for this ride we're going to be covering a lot of miles, so I don't want to put on something that I'm just going to burn to death. I also threw on a set of Mosko Motos 80s rackless bags. Can't say enough about those. If you are cheaping out on luggage, cease to do that. If you're frustrated with your luggage setup, you know, frustrated with being able to get to stuff, this right here, I can already tell you, I've not even taken them out and field tested them. You know, who am I to tell you that, you know, that they're great or terrible? You know, motos, you can look on their site or their reviews and you can see enough, you know, everything you need to see is in there. Highly recommend these. Quick disconnect, quick pull out, you know, quick tent setup. I've wrestled with bags for years. I am done. I spent the money and got these as a secondhand set my brother was able to snag for me and pay him back. So yeah, huge get. I added some spools on there, as you can see, to save my little kickstand. I do plan on replacing this bolt right here. I've seen people drop their bikes on the forums, and although that this does fold in, I've seen people saying that this bolt is really weak, so I'm going to make sure I change that out before it's time to go ride finish the Continental Divide. But another huge upgrade for me was this wireless charger. This is a, oh goodness, what is it? Well, let me look. Quadlock, of course. So this is a Quadlock wireless charger. Another big battle for me, aside from the luggage stress, is charging your devices, charging your phone, all that stuff getting in the way, having a wire come down here, you know, route around your handlebar, into your tank bag, all that's done. All I do, stick my phone up here, turn it, and it's charging. And that just runs on a little wire down here, down into the USB port for now. But I bought a connector that I can run straight from here down, route it through here, down into the seat and into the battery. So when it's turnkey, and I'll get that blue light. So yeah, that's one thing that I dropped my phone in Wyoming. If you've watched my other video or videos, I may have mentioned that. I'm done fighting that battle as well. I'm 38 years old. You know, it's time to bite the bullet and, you know, take it on the chin, so to speak. But yeah, I got almost 1,500 miles there. Performance, this thing is a joy to ride on the street. Also off-road. Like I said, I haven't hit any crazy technical off-road yet because I still don't have the tires on there, and I was going through break-in and just kept riding. You know, I was like, well, I was convinced myself that I was done riding street because people are idiots. But this bike really encourages you to hit the road, hit the highway even. The cruise control on there is still, you know, top notch, man. I mean, if you guys are looking at something that you want to take across the country, this bike is it. I would even say 2-up. It's got plenty of power. You know, the only reason you need more power is just, you know, to make you feel like you got a bigger set of balls, because this thing will friggin' wring your neck. Off-road right now with those tires, you know, with the stock tires set up, all that stuff, I cannot give you an honest, true off-road review. I can give you a light trails, you know, hard pack review of this bike, and this bike eats that stuff up. When it gets wet, at least with those tires, that presents trouble. I think people don't put enough emphasis on, you know, the tire selection that you're running. Like I said, I'm going to be running the Motos, Rawls up front and the Desert HT on the rear. I've run Motos before, and also the knobbier Pirelli Scorpion Rally tire, the off-road bias tire that they sell. And that tire combo was perfect for off-road, really meaty combo. These Pirelli Scorpions are like glorified street tires. You get in anything wet and you're going to lose your soul. But yeah, from what I've done with them, just the easy dry stuff, you know, you watch some of my other videos, you'll see, you know, I think I've got a couple of rides uploaded with this. It's just kind of, you know, lighter off-road, hard pack trails. They're great on. I did almost put this bike down going through a water crossing with some loose gravel and stuff, where I think a Meteor tire would have had no issue. Not tried to push gravel. They would have dug in. These will push gravel. So did want to give you guys a little review, something, you know, quick. Then my next review, I'll be finishing the Continental Divide ride. And that'll be from the Mexican border, Antelope Wells, New Mexico, up to Colorado. I'm not sure what part of Colorado because I think we're going to ride some of the passes, but we're doing it the hard way, like Meerkat Adventure on YouTube rode his. If you haven't watched his videos, Meerkat Adventure, Meerkat ADV, he uploads a lot of good film. If you watch his Continental Divide the hard way, that is going to be pretty much the route we're taking. So really going to put this bike to the test. I'm really excited about it. That's going to be in July. And yeah, so I will go ahead and you know, I'll film that and upload it here for you guys to enjoy. Did want to say again, thank you for following, subscribing. Ask me any questions that you got, you know, riding gear, equipment, you know, things like that. If you guys are wondering about where to order stuff, this bike is certainly a contender. The T7 has got a competitor for sure. Aprilia had to throw the wrench, you know, had to throw the kitchen sink at this thing, and they really did. The riding modes, the equipment quality, the electronics, the tubeless spoked wheels. I mean, this thing is a treat, man, especially for the price. And I hear they're going up in price soon, if not already. So get out there and snag you one. Yeah, anyway, thanks again for following. I'll be uploading possibly some footage maybe around March or April if I get a chance to run back on some trails just to kind of prepare for the Continental Divide. And I'll have some Meteor tires on there, so maybe I can throw some rocks around for you guys. All right, y'all have a good night. Ride safe, ride on.